morning and welcome to video 2 for Underwater BC, exploring the myths and legends of BC lakes. Today we're going to take a dry test and a deeper look at the Untitled T1 Pro drone, the Titan T1 Pro, good to a depth of 175 meters. It's an awesome little device. We're going to be switching to the camera that's going to focus on the drone and what we're doing. You don't need to look at my face. And we're going to get right to this video today. This is video 2 of 3 on the unpacking and testing before taking it to the lake of the Titan drone. It's good to see you. Thanks for enjoying our video. Please subscribe. Please like it if you did enjoy it. And remember to turn on notifications so when we find that lake monster, you'll be one of the first to see it. Okay, so here we are with our T1. Now, the T1 Pro, sorry, and if you remember yesterday, we basically just unboxed the unit. So today we're going to look at the actual dry hookup and test of the Titan T1 Pro, as well as, the ease of hookup and those sort of things. So we're going to begin, of course, with the wireless module. Now, this wireless module has its own IP address, and it comes up very easy on your Android tablet. I do believe there is also an Apple-based app for this, although don't quote me on that. I do know it is available for Mac, so it's probably available for Apple as well. So as we talked about, this piece is literally going to click onto the side of the roller unit, and perhaps what I'll do is I'll bring that unit a little bit closer over here so we can see. There we go. Sorry for that little bit of extra noise. I switched to a lapel and transmitter based microphone today to see if I can get just a little better audio quality. The other thing I have to let you know too is I actually have no teeth. I have dentures, and rather recent too. So I'm still getting used to speaking properly with those in my mouth. So do forgive me. So again, this is the 200 meter spool. And as we can see, the cable has the connecting end like this. And there's a little tiny washer that sits on here. Now you can see that the washer looks a little wet already. And that's because whenever I'm using O-rings, or there's O-rings that I need to look after, I use a multi-purpose synthetic grease. This is a food grade dielectric Canadian Food Agency approved grease that's actually good for food safe products. But I find it's an excellent grade to lubricate those O-rings and make sure that you're not going to wreck an O-ring or dry it out and have it begin to crumble and crack on you. So I recommend before you put them in the water that you lube the O-rings when you hook everything up. So that's already been done today. So we're going to take a look at hooking up this piece to the actual spool. Now on the spool itself, there is a small key at that top corner. All you're going to do is notice on the back that the keyhole is there at the top. These are the dual antennas, which you're going to want to leave up like so. And then that's simply going to magnetic base attach itself. How simple can it get? So it's easy to come off, easy to go on. There's no need to take this cable out of all of its clip-in components. You can simply remove the rubberized cap. Now, one of the things we want to talk about is the connector itself. So these are what are known as pinned connectors. This is a 4-wire pin connector. There's actually a key built into it with a space, and you'll notice the male version of the key right on the wireless transmitter, as well as a female key and a matching male on this end. So you're going to want to be careful. And again, I've lubed that O-ring carefully and placed it back on. Always double check those O-rings. And you want to be careful to make sure that you first press this in as far as it goes comfortably, and then screw it down nice and tight. And it should be as comfortably tight as your fingers should get it. Now this here rotates as cable is deployed. And you'll notice that it doesn't touch the ground. It's very, very close. So I think before I take this out into nature, we're going to get a little heavier mounting base and mount this plate to it. Because the last thing I would want to do would be ogopogo grabbing my drone and taking the drone and the whole cable reel and everything else with it. I'd rather it just bit the drone off and left me everything else if that's what's going to happen. So you can see this is how it happens, or how it's wired up. There is a turning handle on the other side. It's very smooth to roll that cable back up, and as you can see, the transmitter simply spins. Now the recommended maximum distance between the transmitter and the controller is roughly 50 feet, direct line of sight, no issues. I personally, when it comes to the whole near field communication thing, I prefer a maximum of 30 feet for safety reasons. You're pretty much guaranteed to get good solid communication within 30 feet. So that's the hookup of the reel. And now we're going to hook the drone up itself. So we're going to put the reel back over here and just pull the drone a little more into the frame here. And then we're going to take this end of the cable. Now this end of the cable goes into the 4-port on the top. The bottom port is an 8-port data connector, and that's for controlling the robotic arm and the other devices that you can add to it. But in this case, we're going to unscrew and remove the cap. Now this cap also has an O-ring on it. Keep that in mind, that if you happen to bust up an O-ring, you can take the one off the storage cap and use that O-ring. So again, keyed the same way with a female key and a male guide, and in this one the male key and the female guide. And again, we're going to just press it in, and you'll notice how the props spun briefly when the connection is made. That's letting you know that there's a very good solid connection happening right now. Then the first thing you're going to notice, and you can see it here, is that the LEDs are starting to flash. The unit is now ready to be connected to the app and tablet. So in this case, we're going to power on this tablet, and I should have done this ahead of time. I do apologize. So we'll just give that a minute to come up. And this is a Me tablet. It's actually a 132 gigabyte tablet. And the interesting thing about the T1 Pro, and I'm pretty sure this is how they added the extra depth rating. The T1 had an onboard SD card. This particular unit does not. The video is recorded directly onto the app and tablet. And that is a much better way to go, especially if it's the idea of a monster happening to eat your drone, and not that that's the plan, but you know, if it happens, it happens. So we're going to unlock our tablet. We've turned on our controller here, and then we're going to press the home button and hold it until these two LEDs start to flash. And then we're going to open up the Genino application, and it's going to ask us if we want to use the ROV with the Bluetooth controller, and we're going to say yes. It's going to hunt for that Bluetooth, and it's going to find it right away, and we're going to click on it, and it's going to give us a thumbs up as soon as it's attached, a check mark, and then we're going to hit anywhere in the blank screen, and we are now connected. So now to get to our primary interface, we're going to want to just simply click on the connected button. And what we have now is a view through the 4K camera of the drone. So this is literally, you know, I'll see if I can do this here. We're going to put this here, and you can see my hand waving over here in front of the drone. Right? So from this position, we can do some basic tests. There's a heading, which tells us exactly where we're going and where the drone is pointed. There's the depth. There's the time you've used the drone. There's the connection speed, as well as the temperature rating. The other thing it does is it gives you the attitude of the drone as to whether it's sitting flat or canted down or at an angle or halfway upside down. Whatever it is, you'll actually be able to see the drone spinning in the space here. So obviously we can do a brief test and see that we have full thruster activity. We also have the advantage, the ability to change the speed levels, as well as to take pictures and take video. So believe it or not, that's really the basic dry test. We have everything connected, we know it works. What we're going to want to do now is we're going to want to calibrate the compass. And to do that, we're going to be switching to our other camera, because you have to stand a fair bit out in the open with some cable so that you can actually move the drone in space like it would move under the water. The other thing is determining whether you're in salt water or fresh water. In fresh water, there's no need for any additional buoyancy weights. In salt water, you have the advantage of using some additional buoyancy weights, which are included, and fit into the buoyancy rack here and can be adjusted so that they work perfectly depending on the hardware that you're attaching to this drone. So believe it or not, that's basically the water test, or sorry, the dry test. We're going to be proceeding to our water test in the next day or two. First, we're going to calibrate the drone, and we're going to go over the process to calibrate the compasses and make sure that we have everything we need in place. We're also going to cover dealing with the app in the next video. That's it, that's all. Thank you so much. We'll be switching back. Hi again, Garen Abaloki Teshvara here for Underwater, exploring the myths and legends of BC, reminding you to please subscribe, turn on your notifications, and give us a thumbs up if you like this video. So today we've gone over a dry hookup and a brief test of the Titan T1 Pro. We're going to calibrate our compass prior to doing the wet test in the bathtub. We're going to set that all up, and then we're going to be doing another fresh video and relay that to you, as well as covering over all the options that are available in the app right here and what we feel about the controller. I have to admit, it's a very sturdy feeling setup. It's nice and secure. It's not going to go anywhere. The tablet's being well held. And this can take a larger tablet as well, but believe it or not, that's a beautiful 7-inch tablet. And again, it's included with it. They don't mention it anywhere, and it's 128 gigabyte. The reason being is it's going to store that 4K video in your pictures for you that you take. So should Shishwagi or Ogopogo happen to eat my drone, it's okay. I'll have the footage, and hopefully I'll be able to get enough back from that footage to buy another one. That's the plan. Much love to you today. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for taking part in our channel. We've hoped you enjoyed this little video, and we are so looking forward to getting out onto the lakes.